Through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave us, and how my mama put the rags to use. There were rags of many colors, but every piece was small, and I didn't have a coat, and it was away down in the fall. Mama sewed the rags together, so in every piece with love she made my coat of many colors that I was so proud of. As she sewed, she told a story from the Bible she had read about a coat of many colors Joseph wore.
You are listening to Aloore Radio, Ibadan, Nigeria.
Stand in the rain as the clouds go gray.
Good morning. Welcome to another session of our program, Ethics and Etiquettes. Like we started last week, remember we started treating the topics of interview etiquettes. And we said we would continue because it was rather wide. It wasn't something we could finish in one session. So today we're going to continue on the topic of interview etiquettes. We're going to continue on the do's and the don'ts of interview etiquettes. Please go along with us.
The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me.
We're transmitting live from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, the Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. And my name is Feyi Shara. I am treating
Here's
the
some results
topic
from a
of
search.
interview etiquettes. Okay.
Every tear I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green. Oh, oh. The land is green, it's green. Can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green, it's green.
Our Facebook handle is Aloore Radio. Our YouTube handle is Aloore Radio. While the studio line is 0903 853 731 0903 985 3731 0903 985 3731. Thank you for listening to us as we treat this topic again, interview etiquette. You know, we spoke about a lot of things last week. We spoke about some do's and some don'ts. We're going to be speaking about some more today. There might be a little repetition. This repetition I made is because we want you to take the key points of the program. We want you to have the key points of the program and take it home. You know, the interview is your first foot in the door with your next potential employer. The interview is your point of contact with that person that wants to employ you. He wants to size you up. He wants to see what you're capable of doing. He wants to read you. He wants to read everything about you, your body language, the way you talk, the way you do things. He wants to see the level of your confidence. He wants to see if you fidget. So we're going to be talking about a lot of these things. But you only get one shot at impressing them. That's at the interview panel. That's where you meet. At times, it's just one person you're meeting first. At times, it's a panel of judges or a team of people you're meeting first. At times, it is the team you meet first and then you meet the boss later. The following do's and don'ts will help you put your absolute best foot forward and get more job offers. So you need to go along with us as we study this today. What to wear? We spoke about this last week and we're still going to talk about it again today. We said research the company, check out the website, check the Facebook page, check the Twitter feed and other social media before the interview. How does the company present itself? What are the things they wear? You know, we said that what bankers will wear is quite different from what a media person will wear. What's their culture? How does the company present itself, its workplace culture and its employees? If the dress code appears to be business casual, then break out your slacks and dress shirt. If it's more formal, then dress the part in traditional business attire from head to foot. If it is a formal environment like a bank, you cannot go in sweatshirt. You cannot go tucking out even your formal shirts. You can't. You have to be corporate from head to foot. Your shoes, everything has to be corporate. The don't there is don't dress down. Don't dress down. Don't dress down at all. Do not dress down. It's better to be slightly more formal than to come to the interview dressed too casually. They're going to take you as somebody who is very unserious. Who is this unserious human being? How can he come to this place insulting us dressed like this? This gives the appearance gives an impression about you. It gives an impression about you, and it could mean that you're insulting their person. What the organization stands for. If you're unsure at all, dress better than you think is necessary. It's better to dress more formal than more casual.
Back through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave us.
You know, there are some things you pass across that you say without words. You're not opening your mouth, but you're saying some things. You're passing across information. By your body language, you're saying some things. You know, we also spoke about body language and non-verbal cues last week. It is quite important. Project confident body language. Sit up straight. Lean slightly forward and look your interviewer in the eye. It is very important that you look at the person you're talking to in the eye. It is very important. Smile and engage with each interviewer and not slightly as he or she speaks. You know, there are places where you have a number of people. You have a panel to face, maybe like 4, 5, 6. At times there are 10 people. At times in an organization you have all the heads of departments there present, because everybody wants to protect and guard their own interests, the departmental interest. So each person talking to you have to look them in the eye, answer confidently, show a confident attitude. And the don't there is try not to slouch or cross your arms as question are asked. Don't fidget, don't cross your arm like this. It is very unprofessional. In a business meeting or you're talking at an interview or something and you cross your hand, it is not right. In fact, some people will say, would you please sit right? That would be very embarrassing. Try to project body language that is positive and indicates interest. Show your interest. Let them know you're interested in what you're saying. The best way to show confidence is by sitting in an open stance. That's why you shouldn't cross your arms or do anything that makes you seem hesitant or closed off. No. Please sit up and show confidence. That's quite important.
Many colors that I was so proud of. As she told a story from the Bible she had read about a coat of many colors Joseph wore, and then she said, perhaps this coat will bring you good luck and happiness. And I just couldn't wait to wear it, and Mama blessed it with a kiss.
How to act? You should stay poised and relaxed. Don't fidget. It is very important that you're poised, position, and relaxed. Interviews are designed to see how you react to challenge. That's why so many interviewers try to throw in that one unexpected question. When it comes, be relaxed, flexible, and as engaging as possible. Keep a smile on your face even if you don't have a ready answer. This will show your interviewer that you don't get rattled even when you don't have all the answers. If you need time to think, say, that's a great question, let me think for a second. I want to give you a good answer here. No hiring manager is going to fault you for doing that once in a while. You see, they want to throw you off balance. They want to see how you react to challenges. They want to see what you will do if a challenge comes your way during the course of a job. And so they throw something out of the ordinary at you. If you do not have a ready-made answer, please do not fidget. It is okay to say, give me a second, let me think a second. I'd like to give you the best answer. There's nothing wrong with saying that. It's a formal environment and it's not an autocratic thing. You are allowed to think. In fact, that is the major reason why you were called for the interview, to see your thought pattern. So please, the don't there is that don't show signs of panic and don't lose your cool if things take an unexpected turn or you face a tough question. Also, don't rush while answering. You don't want to blurt something out that you can't take back. So you have to stay calm. You have to be calm. If you do not have an answer to a question, go around it some way. If there's no way around it, just tell them straight out that you do not have an answer to that question. If there are experiences you can share to answer a question, you can do that. Or you can ask the interviewer to rephrase the question. It is allowed.
Bible she had read about a coat of many colors Joseph wore, and then she said, perhaps this coat will bring you good luck and happiness. And I just couldn't wait to wear it, and Mama blessed it with a kiss. My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although we had no money, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors. My mama made.
Let the interviewer feel in control. Let them take the lead and follow the general direction that they are guiding you, that they are guiding the conversation. Chances are they have certain things they need to find out from you in order to know if this job is a good fit for you. And the more you help them gather this info, the better they will feel about you as a candidate, even if you're missing one or two pieces of experiences. It doesn't mean you should be completely passive and let it be a one-sided conversation. No. As much as you want them to lead and let them ask the questions and let them guide you, it doesn't mean you should be completely passive. When you need to make a presentation, please make it. When you need to make a response, please make it. But don't cut in the interviewer when he's talking. Let the person complete a statement and then you can respond. Do not cut in as they are talking. Don't be afraid to ask the interviewer to clarify something. Like I said earlier on, you can ask an interviewer to rephrase a question or clarify something. Ask questions midway through the interview. Don't cut in the middle of a statement, but you can ask questions. Or even go back to a topic you previously discussed if you think of something extra you want to share. So while you don't want to dominate the conversation, remember, the interviewer has topics and questions they need to cover. Also, do ask follow-up questions and turn the interview into a dialogue, not just a one-way question and answer session. You can have a discussion. You can have a conversation. It shows how confident you are. It shows how matured you are. Don't make it a one. See, they want to know if you can work without supervision. This way, you can let them know. So you can have a conversation. You can have a discussion. You can share experiences, but don't get out of line. That is very key.
And I told them all the story. Mama told me what she sewed and how my coat of many colors was worth more than all their clothes. But they didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they...
Once more, we're transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism at the Secretariat Agodi Ibadan. Our Facebook handle is Aloore Radio. The YouTube handle is Aloore Radio. The studio line is 0903 985 3731. 0903 985 3731. We're treating the topic ethics and etiquette, interview etiquettes. We're on the topic ethics and etiquette. Well, what we're treating today is interview etiquette. So I go on with the fact that you should go into your interview prepared to highlight the abilities and the aspects of your background that you believe make you a good fit for the position. Take notes on the position and the company, as well as relevant aspects of your qualifications that make you a strong candidate. Take the time to research the company and job, and this will help you remember what you want to say and will allow you to weave your knowledge into the answers to their questions. You know, you might not be the only one being interviewed for that job position. There might be others. So there's nothing wrong in you highlighting your high points. There's absolutely nothing wrong in you highlighting your high points. That's what they want to know. That's what they need to know. So as to show yourself fit for the position. Remember, there's a competition here. The worst mistake you can make is to skip the pre-interview research stage of preparation. It is a very bad mistake. You should research. We keep saying it and saying it over and over again. You're going anywhere, do research about the place you're going to. You do not want to go in unprepared. This worst mistake you can make is to skip the pre-interview research stage of preparation. It is very, very wrong. You have to research. How to listen? How do you listen at an interview session? Even though your best strategy is to outline the key points you want to make in the interview ahead of time, you also want to demonstrate that you're a good listener and can focus and be focused on the topic. You can stay focused on the topic. You have to be able to focus on what you are discussing. It's not that when we say you can ask questions, you can go back and say what you said before. Can you please highlight it? Can you please rephrase it? Can you please do this? You also have to be concentrated. You have to concentrate on what you're discussing. You have to stay focused on the topic. Calmly and confidently ask questions in a way that highlights your best attributes. Show them what you have. Resist the temptation to seek too quickly from the topic of your interviewer's question into your resume. Make sure you tailor your answers in a way that answers the questions. Stay on the topic and highlight the way your background addresses that topic. If they bring it up, then you can bet it's a focus for them. So make sure you demonstrate that it's a focus for you as well. If the interviewer or the interviewers are focusing on a particular aspect, be rest assured, just know straight away that it is important to them. It is quite important to them, and so you have to highlight as much as possible how you fit into that part, how you can leverage into that part.
To wear it, and Mama blessed it with a kiss. My coat of many colors that my Mama made for me, made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although we had no money, I was rich as I could be, in my coat of many colors my Mama made for me. So with patches on my breeches and holes in both my shoes, in my coat of many colors I hurried on.
It's okay to bring up your past successes where appropriate. Yes. It's okay, it's very okay. You need to let them know what you have done, the successes you have had. You need to let them know. But make sure that you are constantly showing how this past accomplishment will bring value to your next employer. Don't bring up something that does not matter to them. How would what you're bringing up, how will it add value to them? It's tempting to ramble on about your successes in a former job, but do not focus on the specifics of a past role to the point where it dominates the conversation. Not all about yourself. Especially where it's a team playing thing. Most organizations, when they employ, it is about team playing. So don't focus too much on yourself. Relate yourself in such a way that you can relate well as part of a team. Remember that even if you loved that former position and learned a great deal from it, your next employer is only interested in how that experience will translate into your new role and benefits them. The bottom line is how it is going to benefit them. That's quite important. So please, harp on that rather than harp on yourself.
Back through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave us, and how my
transmitting live from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism at the Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. Facebook handle is Aloore Radio and the YouTube handle is Aloore Radio. Say it is very bad to be dishonest at an interview session. Be honest about elements of your experience or employment record that may not be ideal for that position. If do not go out directly to talk about it, but if talk tilts into that aspect, please be honest about it. If you have gaps in your resume, if you have experienced a layoff or a dismissal, or if you are missing key experiences or skills in the job description, be truthful and then leverage the conversation back to your strengths. Never lie about past employment missteps or pretend to have skills that you do not have. A good interviewer will see through and attempt to mislead. And even if your lie does not get you to the next stage in the hiring process, you are likely to be disqualified later in the vetting process. You see, there was a time somebody attended an interview, and in the resume, she had written a lot of things glorifying the resume. And unfortunately for her, she wrote about her last employment. No, the one before the last, because she was currently in a job. She had a job, but the last one she had before that one, and then she went for another interview to leave this one. And she spoke about how she was in charge of this and in charge of that at her last job. And unfortunately for her, it was a consultant that spoke to her first and everything, and she was just the right person for what they wanted. But then she needed to meet the MD of the place, and unfortunately for her, the MD of the place was a friend to the MD of the former place, where she told a lot of a lie about. She said she was the one that did this, she was the one that did that, and that one just picked her phone and called her friend and said, I am about to employ this person. She said she had left you, she's now at this place, and she wants to cross over to me, and she's quite ideal for the job. What do you have to say about her? And that person said, no, she didn't do this, no, she didn't do that. And that was the end of it. It was an embarrassing situation, but it is better not to tell a lie. If you are not qualified for the job, please just say so if the talk gets to that.
With kiss, my coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although we had no money, I was rich as I could be, in my coat of many colors my mama made for me. So with patches on my britches,
You are listening to Aloore Radio, Ibadan, Nigeria.
in my coat of many colors, I hurried off to school just to find the others laughing and making fun.
Say it is good to give diplomatic responses when talk gets to your past employer. It is very bad to badmouth your past employer. Give diplomatic responses about all past employers, even if your tenure at a former job ended badly. You do not badmouth a past employer. Try to find something positive you can say about every past work experience on your resume, and then pivot to the skills you have gained along the way that benefits your next employer. Do not badmouth your past employers. Do not speak ill of your past employer. You never can say what. It is actually a round world. So you never can say what. And then when you do such, somebody might think that, okay, this is what you would do to us too if anything happens. Even if the other employer was a competitor to this employer, to be employer you're talking about, you will not win points with your next potential boss by speaking badly of a past one. You will not. Don't criticize a past employer. You will be seen as petty, or even worse, as a risk to hire. As a risk to hire. Somebody might think it is risky to hire this person. What he's doing now is exactly what he would do about us too. So please do not do that. Come prepared with questions based on your research of the company, because you have done research anyway. You would have questions. Generate questions. In addition to checking out the company's websites and social media presence, do some industry research and find out some of the innovations or developments your potential employer has gotten noticed for lately. All these things are there. because they put it there for people to see what they are doing. So, asking questions indicates your interest in the company, especially when your questions demonstrate knowledge of the industry sector and the company, because you have really done your research. When you ask questions, they know you know what you're talking about, and they know you have gone to do your research. That is important to them. Most interviews end with an opportunity for the candidate to ask about anything that has not previously been covered. But don't wait until the very end of the interview or for the interviewer to ask if you have any questions to ask about the aspect of the job you want to learn more about. Instead, ask questions as the conversation develops and show initiative and confidence. The more you can make the interview into a conversation, the better rapport you will create with the hiring manager. It is always very good to create rapport. It shows confidence. It shows you know what you're doing. It shows you are not timid. Create rapport.
You about to witness hip-hop in its most purest, most rawest form, flow, or most flawless, most hardest, most honest, known artist. Chip off the old block, but old Doc is hot. Looks like Batman brought his own Robin. Old God, Saddam's got his own line. With his own private plane, his own pilot. Set the blow polish, dome doors on the hinges. Oranges, peach, pears, plums, oranges. Yeah, here I come, my mentions. Away from you, there fear none. Hip-hop is in a state of 911, so let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. We shut the shit down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. We shut the shit down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah. Wait, gotta move fast, gotta perform miracles. G Willikers straight, only bad syllables. Look at all the bullshit that goes on in Gotham when I'm going. Time to get rid of these rap criminals. So skip to your loo while I do what I do best. You ain't even impressed no more. You used to it, flows too wet, nobody close to it. Nobody says it, but still everybody knows the shit. The most hated on out of all those who say they get hated on in 80 songs and exaggerated all so much they make it all up. There's no such thing like a female with good looks who cooks and cleans. It just means so much more. There's so much more. People when you're rapping and you know what for. The show must go on. So I'd like to welcome y'all to Marshall and Andre's Carnival. Come on. Now let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. And shut the shit down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. And shut the shit down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah. It's just like old times, the dynamic duo, two old friends. Why panic? You already know it's fully capable. The two cake heroes, dial straight down the center 800. You can even call collect the most feared duet since me and Elton play career Russian roulette. And never even see me blink or get the bus in a sweat. People stepping over people just to rush to the set just to get to see an MC who breathes so freely. Ease over these beats and be so breezy. Jesus, how can shit be so easy? How can one genre be so easy? Turn on these beats, MCs don't see me. Believe me, BET and MTV are gonna grieve when we leave off for cheesy. Can't leave rap alone, the game needs me. Till we grow beards, get weird and disappear into the mountains. Nothing but clowns down here, but
We're transmitting live from the State GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism at the Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. Our Facebook handle is at Aloore Radio and YouTube is at Aloore Radio. Studio line is 0903 985 3731. 0903 985 3731. We're treating the topic of ethics and etiquette, and our special topic for today is interview etiquette. Interview etiquette. We've spoken about a lot of things, and now we're talking about how to wrap up and exit. Believe it or not, how you end your interview is just as important as how you begin it. Very important. In fact, both are crucial because these are two things that interviewers always remember. They do not forget it, how you began and how you ended it. As much as they remember what you're wearing, how you comport yourself, how confident you are, they remember how you end the interview as well. So to wrap up your job interview and exit the interview session, make sure you give a firm handshake when it is necessary. First thing is you have to look at the people you're talking to. you're talking to. We spoke about handshake a couple of weeks ago. Give a firm handshake, especially to the interview manager. But at times it is the hiring manager, and at times it is the head of human resources manager. They have different names they call them. I've seen places where they say head of management services. That was the head of human resources services. Having done your research, having looked through all the things necessary to be done, you would know who is who. So it is important to do that. Look the interviewer in the eye and say, thank you for your time. Appreciate the person for his time. Appreciate them for their time. It was a pleasure meeting you and learning about the role, and I'm looking forward to hearing about the next steps. It's a good way to end an interview confidently. Even if you had performed badly at a particular point, put it behind you, don't dwell on it. Step on the next ladder and make the best of it. It is very, very important.
Now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Nigga always tell stories about the man. Say I never struggled, wasn't hungry, yeah, I doubt it, nigga. I could turn your boy into the man. There ain't really much out here that's popping up without us, nigga. We just want the credit where it's due. I'ma worry about me, give a fuck about you, nigga. Just as a reminder to myself, I wear every single chain, even when I'm in the house. Cause we started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here, nigga. No new niggas, nigga, we don't feel that. Fuck a fake friend, where your real friends at? We don't like to do too much explaining. Stories stay the same, I never changed it. No new niggas, nigga, we don't feel.
You can also ask for a business card, so you can call or email the interviewer if they don't provide a feedback in a reasonable time. This is allowed. If they would give you, they would. Most of the time, they actually would give it to you. Also, consider asking what time frame to expect so you can plan ahead. There's nothing wrong in asking what time frame you have or when they're likely to get back to you. At times, they would even intimidate you about the further whether you are successful or not. You would know. At times you would know. So there's nothing wrong in asking about the time frame to expect. It only lets you plan. It only allows you to plan. Don't make sure you don't rush the ending or leave without thanking them and making eye contact. It is very, very key. The last impression matters, and even if you're not feeling tense or nervous or worried that the interview didn't go well, now isn't the time to stress it. It's not the time to stress it. You just do what you can to remedy whatever has happened. Focus on what you can control in the moment, which is to leave a good final impression. Also, avoid asking, do you have any concerns that would prevent you from offering me the position? Don't ever ask that question. Do not ever ask that question. Is there any reason that would make you consider not giving me the job? Why are you thinking from the negative? Do not ever ask that question. It is very inappropriate. Because if I were an interviewer, I will ask you back, do you think there's any reason why I shouldn't give you the job? Is there any reason why I shouldn't give you the job? Would you like to tell me why I shouldn't give you the job? So it is very inappropriate to ask such a question.
Back through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave us, and how my mama put the rags to use. There were rags of many colors, but every piece was small, and I didn't have a coat, and it was away down in the fall. Mama sewed the rags together, so in every piece with love she made my coat of many colors that I was so proud of. As she sewed, she told a story from the Bible.
Transmitting live from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism at the Secretariat at Agodi, Ibadan. Of Facebook handle is at Aloore Radio and the YouTube handle is at Aloore Radio. The studio line is 0903 985 3731. And like I said, we're treating the topic today, interview etiquettes. Interview etiquettes. And like I said before the break in transmission, I said do not ever ask if there is a possibility that the job will not be yours. Don't ever ask. They just met you and need time to think. And even if they have a big concern, they're not likely to tell you at that moment. No, they are not likely. It's not a comfortable question to ask, just like the employer wouldn't ask you. So, are there any reasons you wouldn't accept this job? If you were not going to accept the job, you shouldn't have come for the interview at all. Shouldn't have attended to the interview at all. And so, I've seen people recommend this question, but I just don't think it is appropriate. Because as an interviewer, I will not ask you if there's any reason why you would not accept this job. No, I would not. I will not. So it is not a good idea for you to ask if there's any reason why you will not be offered this job. It is a very, very inappropriate question. Avoid this and you will leave a much better impression.
She sewed and how my coat of many colors was worth more than all their clothes. But they didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they choose to be. Now I know we had no money, but I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors. My mama made for me, made just for me.
Like we said, close on a very positive, enthusiastic note. On a very positive note. I will expect to hear from you again is a statement that is quite appropriate. That is a very positive note. Do not say anything negative. And then afterwards, after the interview, you are allowed, it is very okay, to either call or send an email after a while, after a reasonable, decent duration of time, to inquire about the interview. That is, if you have not heard from them, there is no problem in asking about that. There was a time a particular person was interviewed for a position. It was an international organization. And this was a top position, and she had not heard from them. She had had series of interviews. She had spoken to the MD as the final thing, and she didn't hear from them for a while. And then she called the head of HR, and the head of HR said to her, "Oh God, I was going to call you. I actually forgot. I'm so sorry. My MD must not know I have not called you. The only reason we have not called you is because we have an issue with your age. You are approaching 50, and our MD is not even 50 yet. All the heads of our departments are not close to 50, so we have an issue with managing that. We hope you're not going to come in here and begin to put your age as a negativity to us." And the lady said, "No, that would not happen. Age is in the mind." She's even open to learn more from them, because nobody is a citadel of knowledge. And she gave an appropriate response, and she was hired. She was employed. It was a very good position, and she was employed. So you see, if you feel that it is a decent time duration, you can actually call to make inquiries, or you can send an email. Or if you had chats with a hiring manager before, you can send a chat. There's nothing wrong in doing that. But please do not flog it. If you send a chat or you send an email and there's no response, you can do a reminder after another short while. And after that, if there's no response, then you just leave it. You just let it be. If they need to, they should. Any hiring manager should respond to you. It is part of the etiquette we're talking about. If they get something from you, no matter, even if it is a one-liner, they will respond to you. Even if it's to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we're not done with this yet, we'll get back to you," it is fine, give them time. Or even if it is to say, at times they will come and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you were not shortlisted for this position." Let it be. Don't continue to say why, or can you give me reasons, or what did I do wrong. It puts you in a very desperate position, and nobody wants that. People want to associate with a winner, not a loser.
Through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave us, and how my mama put the rags to use. There were rags of many colors, but every piece was small, and I